Okay, I'm going to document Rosie's sharing of what is speaker companies engaging in what is federal stalking on the venue of the internet, and I just want to document the psychotic conduct of the entity that's engaging in the pattern of conduct. First of all, Rosie sharing is sending an email, and this is serving a criminal system. Everything with regard to a resident, for example, this is a federal housing recipient. Her information, her forwarding address, her phone number, her move-out date, this is information that is made public while the entity is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. Her social security number is bearing on the document that she signed on her move-out date, which is clearly stating as May 3rd in her signature, by the way. The move-out checklist, which clearly states May 3rd, as I clearly specified, and the disbursement form, which also clearly states the move-out date as May 3rd, 2024. And it provides what is her forwarding information. This is private information which speaker companies and Rosie sharing, all of them that are engaging in what are email communication, which is on a monitored communication device where I'm subject to the state's criminal system, and they're doing so in concert with LAPD, who also has information of a third party, regardless of the fact that Monica Chung is a group stalker. The Los Angeles Police Department, the state of California, is engaging in criminal conduct outside of the federal policies, providing them any lawful basis to have this private information, which is the social security numbers, and this is called PII, I believe. This is serving for criminal monitoring, and this information is a matter of public information. Every third party that's monitoring me and also monitoring my phone right now, they're all looking at this private information, and these are, again, the precipitating criminal acts while the entity engages in the P.O.C. What I also want to point out is the fact that not only is Rosie Shearing engaged in federal stalking, this is harassment by an entity, this is the psychopath, this is the demon possessed, and the malice with which they engage in what is harassment as an entity engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring and federal stalking on the venue of the internet. Rosie Shearing is composing an email asking me questions referencing the U.S. Department of Housing. They are in violation of federal laws that are brought about by the U.S. Department of Housing, while she's also asking me questions that she knows the answer to. So just to be brief, put it succinctly, you have an April 2nd cited move-out date. Monica Chung, and everything about our conversation is a matter of public information. Rosie Shearing included is aware of the fact that Monica Chung moved out on May 3rd. Not only that, Monica Chung came into my office for purposes of monitoring me. The P.O.C. was underway when she came in and stated that she wanted to change her move out date to May 3rd, and I documented her on that day. It was the P.O.C. But you have what is the 30-day notice that still states the 2nd. She moved out on the 3rd, so you have what was an oral amendment. The acknowledgement, the 30-day notice of intent to vacate clearly says May 3rd. And you also have what is the 50059. This is a document that should not be shared with the public, but this is the entity, so I'm documenting, but the entity is engaged in criminal conduct in violation of HUD housing federal policies while they're sharing this private information, keeping somebody under surveillance. And this clearly is signed on the 3rd, stating that she moved out on the 3rd. Rosie Shearing is composing an email. These are the keys that were returned to me, and I stamped it and signed it on the 3rd. This is the inspection, like I stated, it's on the 3rd, dated on the 3rd. The disbursement form clearly says the 3rd. So I just want to be clear. This is an email with the intent, the malicious intent, because all the entity knows what Monica Chung is doing. Monica Chung is monitoring. I documented Monica Chung even while she was moving out. She was group stalking with LAPD, which is captured on video, while those demons are pacing all around. I was showing you literally the demonic behavioral pattern of that entity that was pacing around me on the sidewalk, while the demons that are LAPD were pacing in a helicopter. This whole process of a move out, Rosie Shearing is already aware of. I'm going to prosecute speaker companies. This is relevant to the pattern of conduct, which is intended, again, to harass you. While not only are you asking me a question that you know the answer to because you're a group stalker and you're engaged in federal stalking, this is an entity that's sending me this email, acting via Rosie Shearing. You also have what is the psychotic mind state that is also revealed through engaging in that conduct. And then you're aware of the fact that they're actually group stalking. You're aware of the mind. That reveals the mind state, okay? The entity is also engaging in what is asking me questions, which is clearly reflected in the paperwork. It's on the paperwork. So clearly it says May 3rd here, 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 and you are referencing the U.S. Department. Oh, we may owe her a day of rent. If you can please clarify the exact move out date, which every other document states May 3rd. And then she's referencing Maria. Can you please double check this as you signed off on the U.S. Department of Housing document? They're in violation of federal laws, that they are inherently in violation of. I want to be clear, every employee of speaker companies, everybody that talked to me on the phone, everybody that's sending an email is engaged in federal stalking. All of them. And this is information that's shared with the demons such as Tiffany Sherez, who has no business in possession of the social security number of Monica Chung. Okay? But this is what they're aware of because they're monitoring me and they know what I'm looking at on the internet. They know what I'm composing in email. They know what I'm doing inside of the office while they use the ringer on the phone as a means of stalking with audible activity. All right? So I just want to document that this is harassment by speaker companies. Speaker companies is a third party. I'm going to respond to this email, but this is documentation. I'm going to drain the pockets of speaker companies. I'm going to civilly and criminally prosecute speaker companies also, including Todd Speaker, and the entity is engaged in what is workplace harassment, terrorism, and sexual violence as an entity engaged in federal stalking. The entity that's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring is engaged in federal stalking. They're monitoring on the venue of the internet. So I'm just saying, so what is the point? You're asking me a question that you actually know the answer to. And I know that as a group stalker, you have to feign ignorance and ask me something. The purpose of sending this email and referencing the U.S. Department, I'm going to bring about federal charges. I'm going to blow the whistle on them to the U.S. Department. Understand that? To the U.S. Housing Department. So I just want to point that out. Everything that the entity is doing, it's to its own demise. And it is revealing, again, this is a public safety concern. This is the entity that intends to, in every area of your life, try to harm you, harass you, torment you in whatever way that they can. And the ordinary target individual is reasonably perturbed by this, stressed out by this. This is something that is designed to disturb your mind state, and you have a right to not be subject to it in the workplace. This is the same entity. While I'm on the phone with them, the entity is flying in circles over in helicopter over my office. You are inextricably linked to that pattern of conduct, and this is how the passive-aggressive, demon-possessed cowards express hostility as well. So while they don't like the conversation that they're getting from me, the demons of LAPD will fly over my office in helicopter. They're going to federal prison for that. And because you're in Palo Alto, you are not beyond reach. You're going to federal prison. So I just want to document this because under all circumstances, it's federal stalking. It's criminal conduct on the venue of the internet. The entity that's monitoring in relevant position is engaged in federal stalking on the internet. This is all criminal activity. Anything, they can say good morning, and it's serving for surveillance that's underway. P.O.C. It's currently 8:49 a.m.